Hi, it's Josh Spinks and welcome to the Let's Talk Bikes YouTube channel. The aim of this is to get some really cool, unique bikes, talk about them, review them, have some fun on them. And what a way to start here today. We've got a 1995 CR500, we've got a 1997 KX500, so two absolute monstrosities of bikes. And we're just going to compare, see what's good with one, what's not so good on the other one, and just really break them down. So let's do something different, let's have some fun with it.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
All right, let's start off with this KX500, 97, and what a great looking bike. Definitely looks its age. I think this really looks old in comparison to the CR, almost like a bit like a dinosaur with its edges, and it looks big and heavy. But the GMX tank really sets this thing off, slims it down a little bit visually. We've got the KX500 forks with the triple clamps. I always run 996 on my bikes. We've got those on here. Pro circuit exhaust, has to be pro circuit for Kawasaki's. Interestingly, with the standard rear. Apparently that sort of combination makes it a little bit more linear, the power a bit more smoother. So I've kind of stuck with that. Talon wheels to finish off the look. Really, really interesting bike to ride. I'm looking forward to breaking it down for you. But yeah, this is the half ton, the KX500. So here we have the 95 CR500. Running the 400 for my friend Matt Porter. He actually owned this bike, rode this bike, raced this bike. Absolute legend, so we're running that for him. The only modifications on this bike is the HCS exhaust and the Olin shock. Other than that, completely raw, as it was in 95. And just visually looking at it, so much more rounded, just almost ahead of its time, I believe. This is 2 years older than the Kawasaki, but in my honest opinion, it looks about 5 to 10 years newer. So, interesting. Again, the direct comparison on the day will tell us everything we need to know, but visually, a lot more slender, probably a bit shorter. Either way, a lot of power, another half ton. Let's go and have some fun on these bikes. Oh, wow. They're both like equally as fun, but in different ways. Let's head back and break it down, compare them. Just in from the first session on both bikes, and what jumps out really evidently for me is the Honda's got more torque, pulling a high gear, but it's so flexy. The frame, the suspension's soft, everything's like an armchair. So very torquey bike, has to use the gears, likes fourth gear, but just wallows everywhere. Turns quite nice. Kawasaki straight away felt taller, as it looks really, bigger bike, taller bike, a lot firmer even in the frame, a lot less flex, which was great over the jumps, felt really nice over the jumps. Very broad power, very smooth, didn't really need much fourth, could leave it in third and let it run. So straight away some really big differences there from the off. Okay, now I'm comfortable on both bikes. Let's put them head to head and let's see which one I'm actually quicker on. the lap times are in for both bikes. We took the CR out first. That was a 1:44.69. Straight after, we went on the KX, and that was a 1:44.3. So 400ths of a second faster on the KX. Genuinely felt a little bit faster on it because the confidence on the jumps and overall its speed over the bumps, this seems to take it a lot better. This one felt a little bit better in some of the corners, a little bit more flow. Both good for different reasons, but this one came out on top today. All right, so we've put the bikes through the paces, done the lap times, discussed them. Now's the most important bit of the day. Which bike whips the best? Gonna do a bit of a whip off. So it turns out both of the big girls are hard to throw whips on. I felt a little bit better on the KX overall, but comment below and let me know what you think. All right, so having already ridden these bikes before, being my own bikes, I had a kind of an idea what I'd win, but it surprised me actually. The KX being faster overall took me a little bit off guard because of how long and big and heavy the bike looks. But with that came a lot of stability, a lot more confidence over the jumps, like I was saying before. Bumps, it might be the modern front end, that obviously sways it a little bit. I just felt like I could hit things a lot faster. The bike felt more solid, it wasn't as flexy and sort of lounge chairy, if that's even a way to explain it, but the Honda's great, it's short, it turns really nice, it sits in, but at speed it's almost too soft. You feel like the frame's gonna just really implode, and when I was trying to do the whips, like I was leaning, but the bike kind of swallowed into the takeoff and gave you a bit of a kick, so not much confidence to throw the bike around. Even though it looks a lot lighter, it probably is a lot lighter and more nimble, but it just shows that, you know, until you actually back to back, put them through a lap, technical track, quite harsh, quite bumpy, quite jumpy, and the KX overall just felt a little bit more easier to ride on them conditions. With the Honda, just a lot of power. Really like fourth gear. You could go around the whole track in fourth if you really wanted to. With that came a little bit of a different power output that I was expecting. Kind of like good off the initial, good grunt, but then it just kind of falls away. So there's a lot more gear changes on the Honda, where the KX, it just is so broad. It revs a lot further. It actually feels faster in a straight line, the KX. It just keeps going and going and going. And chassis-wise, I appreciate there's some modern forks on this KX, but it holds up a lot more on the jump faces more than anywhere. It jumps out, so it feels firmer. It takes the bumps a little bit better. The KX actually felt quite new and tight, like a modern bike, so that was really interesting. I've rode the Honda on many different occasions where if the track's quite flat, not really jumpy, like old school track, the bike really comes into its own. It's soft, the chassis is so soft. There's areas where it felt great, like turning into corners, holding the line, but when you're hitting the takeoffs and maybe going a bit long or a bit short, it just collapsed. And that's where I think it compromised a lot of confidence and time. So what's also been really fun is just having both the 500s at the same track. Not something that's really happened before, so there's a first for that. There's no better comparison. I'm still in one piece, the bikes are in one piece. So that's a wrap of this video, episode 1. We've got all sorts of bikes coming for the rest of the year. Newer bikes, team bikes, old bikes, sketchy bikes, all the bikes. We're going to talk about bikes. That's the plan. And like I say, what a way to kick it off with these old bikes. Today the KX come out on top. I felt a little bit more comfortable on that, but you make your mind up. What's your favourite bike? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to